Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? Will here, Flawless Crested Geckos, coming to you guys with another video. And this video, yeah, you know it is Thursday, so it is the Diamond series. And this is going to be an interesting one for you guys today because we're going to talk a little bit about the empty back program. Our empty back program primarily came from Altitude Exotics, Brian. And there's been a lot of, I wish it was more talk on the lines and the jeans more than arguing. I think we can all either agree on topics or agree to disagree, or at least have good conversations so we can continue, especially the well-versed breeders and keepers in the industry, so we can continue to teach the newer people coming in that's eager to gain the information. Some information, to my understanding, is very easily understood on how things can get confused or how things can be confusing. But this is going to be on Wonder Woman. We may do another video. We may even bring Brian on. He did a podcast with Tiki's, with David from Tiki's Geckos already, talking about it. But when we first got into Super Stripes, we were picking up Super Stripes here and there. And then we saw his line of Super Stripes, which is the empty backs. And we're truly impressed with what he was producing on his higher end stuff. So we dove deep in that side of things. Got a bunch from him. We were breeding, years ago, different lines as well as his line, and everything that was coming from all the offspring from his line was literally phenomenal. And we wasn't as pleased with the other lines that we have because we don't know how it all was derived or where it all came from. We decided to sell off everything that didn't derive from Altitude Exotics and did it that way. Now we have empty backs all over the world at this point now, especially in Korea. Actually, it's a couple ended up in Japan as well. So we have a bunch going in different places, and we still have a high inquiry rate on empty backs and availability. So needless to say, we'll talk a little bit on the back end of this video on the empty back program, hopefully to bring everybody together and not drive anyone apart. But this video is going to be about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman we've had here for quite some time. Everyone is big on Cringe. Cringe is phenomenal, absolutely amazing. We ended up putting our empty back girl into our visual Xantic program to produce, hopefully, like I said, some double hets and move that route. But that being said, Wonder Woman is also phenomenal. It's really hard to have several geckos all in the same program, and when you have one extremely standout gecko, it kind of throws a lot of shade at everything else that comes underneath her. But Wonder Woman is phenomenal in her own way. Again, acquired from Altitude Exotics many years ago at this point, and we have a lot of her offspring, and we're moving things in the right direction, we believe. So without further ado, let's show off Wonder Woman.
Hey guys, Flawless Crested Geckos here, Will, Audra, and we're here to tell you about our Patreon.
Yes, going through tough times, you gotta know that Flawless is always gonna have your back. If you go over to patreon.com/flawlesscrestedgeckos, you'll see all the perks and benefits it is there for you to come and support us on our Patreon. $50 a month turns around and goes right back into your Flawless Crested Geckos savings account for you to use towards your next purchase.
Any purchase. We also give awesome benefits such as 5% off the top of the price of the gecko. We give free merchandise, t-shirts, we have stainless steel tables, tools, yes. All kinds of goodies. We also give free shipping to our members all year round, no blackout dates. And we give awesome tips, or we think we do anyway.
That's right. So go over to patreon.com/flawlesscrestedgeckos
and join our family.
Yes. So this is Wonder Woman. Big girl, amazing structure, awesome head. As you can see, that arrow shaped head on her. The pinning on her, full pins on both sides. You can see that her back is not the regular Crested Gecko pattern on the back, but she's a empty back. You see the quad striping on her sides. On one side she has a pretty prominent stripe, and on the other side it's dashed. So it's not always going to come through as far as mirroring identical quad stripes on both sides. But she has a really, really thick tail and an awesome grip. But she's awesome. She's produced some amazing, completely empty, cleared out back geckos for us. We have several males and females in this collection, and we are striving to hopefully continue to improve on this line. But we want to diversify a little bit, so we have a few of them in our red program now to produce a lot more empty back reds, as well as our Atlantics. We're thinking about putting them into our cappuccinos as well, in hopes of continuing to gene stack certain programs and tie them together, in hopes of making that visually perfect gecko in your brain. Whatever your brain can come up with these pairings on what you're chasing, you need to continue to chase it, because that's what we're doing. See if we can get a shot of her belly. Pretty mute belly, nothing crazy going on there. What we have seen with the empty back line that we have been working with is the head shape and structure on all of our empty back have been literally incredible. I don't know if it's because the breedings we're doing and putting them together, or because we started off with really, really quality at the beginning. Again, we're going to continue to break up the line only to bring it back together stronger at the end, meaning, you know, branch off to cappuccinos, sable empty backs, Atlantic empty backs, and see if the structure continues, and see if it's something, you know, good structure like this is something that we can link to the empty back trait altogether. We've heard it several times over from different breeders that empty backs have some awesome coloration, as well as structure, and we're seeing a lot of that in our own collection. But that is Wonder Woman. So I believe Wonder Woman is about 5 years old or so currently, and she's a powerhouse. She gives us literally anywhere from 8 to 12 eggs per year, and this year I'm sure she won't fail. She's just starting to get paired now, and like I said, we're going to branch in different genes to, you know, gene stack and work on certain combos. Maybe we'll see things that it comes to our liking. You're not going to like everything, but you won't know that until you try some of these things, some of these pairings. Again, breed for yourself first. So hopefully, to bring everyone together, I'm gonna throw a quick summary of how mistakes can be made, how things can be misunderstood, and hopefully we can iron things out. I've told this on several podcasts as well. We only know what we know, and we know we love our geckos. We love our programs we're working in. The empty back program itself, we love it. Okay. The controversy surrounding the empty back program, I believe it's because of confusion. Okay. We've heard the stories from Brian. Brian coined the empty back program, the empty back name. He derived the whole empty back from this side of things, the whole empty back program within his collection many years ago. He's also been openly honest about starting his collection with a ton of AC Reptiles geckos. He also said that he started it with super stripes. Okay, and if super stripes are going to be considered recessive, he started with super stripes. Then you have quality of each gene that's present. So he selectively bred, and you know, the best of the super stripes to the best of the super stripes, on working on emptying out the back. That was his goal at the time. And I hope I'm not overstepping, but I talked to him on the regular. He's cool with it, I'm sure. So that was his goal. He took super stripes and continued to selectively breed them to empty out the dorsal, creating his empty back line generations on end. Now, he derived that term, he ran with it, and he started producing some phenomenal animals. What may be involved in those animals, whether it's hypo involved in this, that, he can kind of elaborate that on a little bit deeper terms. But on the front face side, this is what you guys have to consider. Imagine everything I just told you on the empty back. Let's say everything is 1,000% true. Getting it from the horse's mouth, okay? And let's say it's 10, 12, 15 years ago, and this is all taking place. And let's say I'm ABC Geckos over in Arizona, okay? Don't even know who Brian is. And I produce a really cool gecko with a very unique back pattern. And I decided, oh man, this is cool. Look how, you know, empty the back is. I'm gonna call this empty back. And let's say it is genetic, but let's say it's incomplete dominant, okay? And you run with it. And again, this is not on purpose. It's not trying to throw shade at anyone. You decide to call your line that you know, worked on empty back. So now you're in Arizona, you're working this empty back program that's incomplete dominant. You don't even know of Brian. You don't know of a program he's working with at all. So there's no malice intended in this. But years on end, you're producing these animals, super empty backs, everything on your strain. And you're selling some, you're keeping some, and it sticks. And people are, you know, driving toward it. They're buying it and they're loving that program. But now here it is 10 years, 15 years later, you know, you have new people getting in, you know, veterans getting in, and you buy from, let's say, that source or a subsidiary of that source, and you have incomplete dominant empty back. But then you're at a show, and let's say you pick up from random breeder, nothing wrong with that, but you also pick up an empty back from a show, not knowing that this is 5 breeders removed from Altitude Exotics. So basically what I'm getting at is, you guys can probably put it together that it's quite easy to be confused, number one, and not have 100% understanding on what's going on. Or, you know, hey, I'm 2 years in the game. I got this cool empty back, male or female. I want to get a mate for it. I'm gonna go grab another empty back. Who knows whether your original male or female is a recessive empty back, super stripe, or an incomplete dominant empty back. You know, you don't know. It's not done on purpose. I think sitting down and talking about these topics, we can kind of alleviate a lot of issues and a lot of arguments. And like I said, being that there's no genetic testing and things like that for crested geckos, the arguments, unfortunately, should become discussions. So we all can talk about these topics. But hopefully this was a really, really good video for you guys for the Diamond Series. Again, this is to bring everybody together, talk things out, not fight, not argue, and hopefully get down to the bottom of some of this. So guess what? We can continue to love our geckos and have fun with them. It's Will, Flawless Crested Geckos, and we are out.